everybody, and welcome to
Invest Austria.
2024.
Today is the fourth conference already of this sort. So I'm wondering, how is everyone today?
I don't know, It's a beautiful place, 60 speakers. It's not that much energy I'm feeling here.
It's only 9 a.m., James. I mean, give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt.
I know, but today's a special day, so we're going to do this one more time, everybody. How are you all doing? There we go. A little bit more energy,
Much better. So today is all about connecting the dots, just as you see on the logo behind us. It's about bringing two different perspectives together. That's why you don't have one moderator up here, but you actually have two. So the first dot of today is...
My name's James Langer, and it's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I'm from Cape Town, South Africa, where I founded and scaled an edtech startup. But I made Vienna my home 4 years ago, studied at VU, joined a local startup called Shop Story, and have really become part of the scene here as a coach, speaker, and moderator at great events like this. So that's me, the first dot of today. But the second dot...
I'm Natalie Staniewicz. I have two hats. I'm freelance moderator on the one side, but then also innovation expert and fintech lead at Accenture. I've combined different years in Brussels as well, so I'm very excited about the international side of this conference, and I'm looking forward to guiding you through the day.
So that's us, but really, what is the purpose of today?
I say it once more, connecting the dots.
Exactly. Invest Austria is really all about connecting the dots, and one of the critical dots that need to be connected, or the two dots that need to be connected, is on the one side, the large-scale, traditional private equity, the experts in long-term and late-stage investments. And on the other side, we've got the early-stage investment experts, your venture capital, your angel investors. And it's really important that these dots are connected because innovation needs to be supported across the life cycle, and we want to make sure that that gap is bridged. But I think there's a few more dots to be connected, right?
Exactly. The other dots are Austria, the local ecosystem, and the international side. So you want to fly, at least mentally, towards the Nordics to understand what is happening in the north, and also towards east, so Central and Eastern Europe, to understand what are the success stories, what are the best practices. We will also looking into Europe as a general, on the whole, because we are not a silo in Austria. We really want to weave into the European perspective. Well, what else is happening besides those different aspects?
Yeah, exactly. So we want to get into like the nitty-gritty of today. I'm going to be here at the tech stage. This is what we call the tech stage. And here it's really all about the big vision, right? Understanding the big trends. We'll be learning this morning about the fund of funds. We'll be talking about healthcare with keynotes and panels. We'll also be looking at an Austrian success story. And then after lunch, we'll be diving deeper into food tech, space tech. We'll be learning about our connection between Austria and the rest of Central Eastern Europe. And we'll be finishing off with some incredible pitches organized by AWS. Some incredible scale-ups are really excited to be pitching tonight. And I hope you guys are still here for that later this evening. But there's another stage. I think it's called the market
stage. Exactly. So you will be finishing with a pitch, and we will be actually starting with a pitch. So the energy will be very high. It will be pitching around deep tech startups and spin-offs by AWS. And then we'll be going into the European side again, like I said, EIC accelerator, topics like the Draghi report, all these buzzwords, and then going into the Nordics. So what's happening on the early stage and also into the late stage funding. And then we'll be catching some of these trends as IP, what about democratizing private investors, bringing into the private equity space, or also deep tech. So it's more about really deep diving, expert talk.
Exactly. So big vision here, deep diving there. And of course, we want you guys in your seats as much as possible because, nobody likes an empty crowd. But there's also lots of networking going on. There's going to be a Startup Expo. Please make sure to check out the Startup Expo. They're very excited to have you there. We have one-on-one networking sessions. I think many of you have booked those sessions already. And of course, there's going to be open networking in the foyer, during the coffee breaks, during the lunch break. And of course, my favorite part, drinks and a big party afterwards, right? You'd be surprised. I was here last year, and this crowd, they actually really do know how to party.
So I'm very excited about that part as well. Don't worry if you now think, I cannot be on all the stages at the same time. No, we have not invented beaming, but we have invented recording, so you can check out the recording later on the website. But you said it before, James. It's not about only us individually listening, sitting back. It's really about connecting the dots. So building a network, because if you connect the dots, we get stronger in the network. We build more connections, and that's what it's really all about. Let's use these connections that you have here in the room, and let's forward that towards a strategy to really get funding and innovation going in Austria, but also in Europe.
Exactly, and that's why I am really excited to bring onto the stage three dots that sit at the center of today and the Austrian investment ecosystem. So please give a warm welcome to Nikki, Daniela, and Arno from Invest Austria. Stay up. Yeah.
So, good morning, everybody, and welcome. I'm really proud to be here, and it's really the fourth edition, and we have more than 400 participants registered from 20 different countries. So, it's really getting more international, which I'm really, really great. So, it's a good, we are here with investors, entrepreneurs, all the great people who are supporting this ecosystem, so really bright minds. But now in Austria and in Europe, we face a lot of economic headwinds, difficult and really big challenges, and I'm afraid it will not get any easier with the outcome of the US elections. But it's also the time of great opportunities. And the shifts we are seeing in the economy and the geopolitics, they demand not just our attention, but bold action. And that action needs to be rooted in innovation and smart investment. Europe, and especially Austria, we are home of some of the best researchers and brightest minds, and we should be really proud of that. But to stay competitive and secure our place on the global stage, we need tech sovereignty. This isn't just a nice to have, it's essential for our future. Innovation and investment, they go hand in hand and are key to driving economic growth. One area we are making real progress is deep tech. I'm excited and proud to share the success story today of an Austrian startup leading the way in quantum computing. And it shows that we have all that it takes if we really invest in it. This year, the areas we focus in and the verticals are not just interesting investment cases, but also areas that affect all of us and every day. Take of the advantage in healthcare and improve of lives, or how food tech can change the way we eat. Due to new technologies, AI, demographic change, and all the insufficiencies in the healthcare sector, there is really time and they are ready for disruption with medtech and health tech. And there is an enormous market potential, and maybe Austria can be at the forefront. But we will also discuss what is the future and what are the driving factors for food innovation. And then there is another topic we have to face about the geopolitical challenges we face. This is why we have chosen to talk and discuss about space tech, defense tech, and dual-use technologies. These sectors are more important than ever, but Austria is not yet discussing that publicly. I've been to Brussels and to Tallinn, and there it was the main topic. And also the shift that the EIF takes, it stands, they are now open for investment in dual use, and this will bring a large amount of money to this section. So thank you for being here. Pick the panels that you are your favorites and engage with all the people. So I wish you all a great day.
I'd like to welcome you also at Apotheker Tract. We'll start to feel a little bit at home here. It's the second time, and we'll again, I hope, enjoy this fantastic framework for exchanging and making progress. Connecting the dot has a purpose that's to make progress for the venture capital and private equity market in Austria. So warm welcome. A big thank to our sponsors who's enabled us to organize this gathering today. We'll probably repeat this along the day, but we have very, very loyal sponsors, and we want to thank them. You have not missed it. There could not be better timing for this gathering today. Austrian elections a month ago, US elections today. Elections show us, demonstrate us that they can affect, sometimes even massively, business strategies. So let us draw some strategies to rejuvenate the Austrian competitiveness and secure our economic future. Look at the program for today. Daniela just spoke about the tech aspect we want to highlight. Nikki will highlight the importance, the urgency to establish a fund of funds for Austria. And there is a third dimension. While preparing the conference, we thought we would like to inspire you, but inspire you by success stories. So success stories out of Europe. And we chose two regions. The first one is the new Nordics. New Nordics, Scandinavian and Baltic countries, have seen a surge of 30% volume more of private equity investment along the last years. That's well above the European average. And we will certainly observe during the panels the reasons for that, the entrepreneurial mindset, the kind of innovation they pursue, the importance of an easy framework for investing. So that's really important. The second example we will take is Central and Eastern Europe, our neighboring countries. We don't need to go far away for getting inspired. We have fantastic examples. 1.2 billion euros were invested last year in private equity. That's huge, and we should look at cooperating and get inspired by this example. So now, there is also a dimension we sometimes forget. You will see along the day there are a lot of E's here present at this conference. E's. European Investment Bank, European Fund, and so on and so on. All these organizations, which altogether represent more than 700 billion assets. That's enormous. We don't capitalize enough on this, and we would like to highlight what Austria could do in that direction. There is a lot of potential for attracting capital flows in startups and getting our innovation at international scale. So, logical statement. We have a remarkable wealth of innovation and technical capabilities in Austria, but they need the backing of the strong backing of investors. How do we do that? Well, let's get inspired by foreign examples and simply implement this and with a new framework, new regulations, new attitude towards private investment. That's what we would like to inspire today. Strong message for the conference, that's a call of action. So connect, interact, explore collaboration possibilities, and then you will probably land in an advocacy mindset that private equity venture capital is essential for the economic future of the country. So thank you very much for your participation, your collaboration, and enjoy very inspiring panels along the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you, Arnaud, for your explanation of the day and your thoughts about the conference. Well, today is a day that marks again a new start in the US, and it definitely will be a change also for Europe. The elected president announced a more unilateral approach to the world economics from the US side. So we have to expect that we have to rely on our own strengths in Europe. And looking into the Draghi report, it shows us that we have a huge gap here and a huge step to be brought forward in order to make this possible. Also, we had these elections in Austria, and as an organization, and I'm the politician here on the stage, as an organization, we have developed our Vision 2030 during the first half of this year. And there we bring together all our thoughts, what should be done here in Austria in order to bring our ecosystem forward. And one of the major issues is a fund of fund. Arnaud also already mentioned it, and we will have a great presentation on this issue just in a couple of minutes. And several other issues that we are bringing forward. Please, you find some QR codes all around the conference. Download the Vision 2030 if you haven't seen it yet. We will be working actively on the negotiations of the parties in Austria to bring our ideas into the governmental program of the next period. Well, having said that, the last thing I want to say is enjoy the conference, have a great day. And now I want to welcome Ingo Bleier of Erste Group. He is Chief Corporates and Markets Officer of Erste Group, our main sponsor of the conference today. And I want to thank you, Ingo, very much for your ongoing support all the time. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last part of the so-called opening words. You had quite a lot. I will not ask you to engage or connect. I'll just ask you to listen maybe for a few minutes after a long, election night that we had. I cannot open this conference without commenting on what's going on, obviously, in the US and in Europe. I'm not opening this for the first time. We have been here several times as we've been sponsoring it for a number of years. But it is the first time that I'm co-opening it, or how shall we say, after a US election event. And I think there will be a lot of, critical views, comments around the results. I think Europe, as usual, got it wrong in the expectations as to how this would end. But it means that Europe needs to get on its feet in a very, very strong manner. The Draghi report that was mentioned several times today is called The Future of European Competitiveness. I have the first 74 pages here. The whole thing has 2 parts and is more than 300 pages long. And it is very recommended reading because it goes through a lot of areas where I believe Europe should really act. I differ a little bit on the view that there needs to be a lot of fiscal expansion. We have seen a massive fiscal expansion in the US and in Europe, but I completely agree that we need far stronger capital markets in Europe. So with what America will do now, a lot, I think, will be difficult for us. Should we therefore say that the model that they have in capital markets doesn't work for us? No. It definitely is a very important inspiration for us, and that takes me to the topic of pension funds. We have had a gathering recently of the pension fund managers, so we hold majority participations or participations of pension funds across Austria and Central Eastern Europe. In Austria, only around a quarter of the employees in our economy are enrolled in a Pillar 2 pension plan. Only a quarter. Pension plan assets in Europe are around a third of European GDP. In the US, it's 140%. We have not enough long-term patient equity in Europe. Now, I'm speaking here to a crowd of venture capitalists and private equity investors. So if we explain to each other that this is important, fine, but that will not move the needle at all. What we need is beyond bankers like us, beyond financial sector players, we need people from the corporate sector, from the companies to go out and speak to politicians, to go out and speak publicly that this is important. Politicians don't win, we say in German, a Blumentopf, with that strategy. And they expect bankers and asset managers to speak about this. And the response is you just want more assets so that you can have higher asset management fees, period. Yeah? So that's the response. So it is not us, but really very much the corporate sector that needs to voice the interest much stronger, and the retail sector. We are destroying massively value, and this may surprise you to hear it from we're originally a savings bank, from a savings banker that has too much money on low-yielding savings deposits. Our strategy will move very much to converting those into funds, into long-term investments, and into pension plans, because we need to preserve real financial wealth with the current and the future generation. So that is a topic that is of utmost importance. It's chapter 5 in the first part of the Draghi report. Yeah? But it is a very good and concise analysis of the situation we have in Europe and what needs to change. So have a look at it, read it, speak about it. Now, you could say, okay, what is Erste doing? Yeah? Do you put your money where your mouth is? Our group is running a very substantial loan book. Yeah? Only the corporate lending book that I'm responsible for, together with the corporate board members across Erste, is around 80 billion euros. Yeah? Less than 1%, 800 million, we have in private equity or corporate participations. And we are the biggest asset manager in Central Eastern Europe. Right? We have more than 80 billion currently in assets under management in what we call Erste Asset Management. It's our subsidiary. But less than 1% of what the group has on the corporate loan book is in private equity fund investments, venture capital funds, or direct corporate participations. Still, it's a lot. Yeah? It's a couple of 100 million that we have invested, but it's still tiny, and it shows you we are a reflection of what is a bank credit-driven European economy. And in the old days, this was not an issue because bank credit was used for equity. Over generations here after the war, bank credit was used for equity. This is over. With the regulation we have, with the standards we have, we do not finance equity anymore with bank credit. This has changed. So we need this industry to step up massively, massively. And that means speaking out. Speaking at those conferences, sponsoring such events, raising the voices, and not only blaming politicians, but talking to them. Yeah? Going for a dialogue and making sure that we get to a different result. So we put our money where our mouth is. We will increase our commitments. We have done in several forms, venture capital investments. We build up the private markets business in our asset management area, but it needs to grow massively. Of the pension fund managers that we gathered across the group, only 2 have small allocations to private equity and 1 to private debt investments, credit funds, also with a tiny proportion. So we need a much larger commitment. We are standing for this as Erste Group. We want to retain the value chain in capital markets. We have announced recently a joint venture with BADA, so just that you're informed. That does not mean that we are giving away any of our research, syndicate, or origination business. We retain the full value chain, but we want to create a bigger European research product, also to bring companies, once they've been financed enough by venture capital and private equity, also to the public equity markets. Yeah, so we're covering the whole spectrum, and I'm looking forward to engaging with you, with your colleagues, to make this industry stronger. Thanks for your attention. Have a great conference. Thank you.
Thank you.